calls were coming from the faculties, which tool we can use. I think it's a good opportunities, and some of our faculty members have really done a good effort on this. And right now we have integrated Google. Google is available for all our JNU user. Even we have given a permission to the email ID other than other than jnu.ac.in, means the Gmail IDs are also enabled during this crisis, but because of the security reasons we have to restrict that. And for Moodle platform, which we have set up, this is open to all the faculty members. So you have the net ID, through that you can get authenticated and create your courses. The roles, a teacher role is given. For student, we have allowed through a request mode, that is jnu.ac.in. Email IDs of students are enabled, but they have to request, they have to enroll for the course, and then they can use. Now coming to the above shortcomings, or I can say the challenges at present. Now from an organization perspective, the investment on infrastructure, availability, and setting up the policy, so all those things are required. But right now this platform is open for the course development, and some of the people are already developing the course. Now giving you a overview of what exactly is LMS, whatever tool, whatever platform you use. So one is creation of the contents, so like through Zoom, through some of the other meeting, and there are many open source trial version screen recorders, audio capturing, video capturing tools are available. And we, from an IT side or from an organization perspective, we cannot recommend, recommend to you, but for your work, seeing your environment where you are deploying it and using it, you can use it. These are really good. And if we like, that, because so many tools are available right now, but if some of the tools are really good, then those tools can be integrated or can be procured later on. But for a introductory course perspective, these freeware tools are sufficient to create your content. Another is hosting of the content. You need, one is that creation of the content. If you have created content of your course, and then you need some platform where you can host, like we have set up lms.jnu.ac.in. There should be hosting, perimeter security, user authentication, everything should be in a working condition, should be made available to the community. The third, workflow and mapping is very important, and this is the software piece which will, like you talk about Moodle or some another LMS. Many companies, they have developed their own LMS using PHP and all other languages, and they have their own customized LMS kind of thing. But that workflow is very important. So workflow is very important. If I take a JNU example, where you have more than 3,000 courses and common courses, then your faculty, school, center, and then you have 10,000 students, and which student is enrolling which course, which teacher. So this workflow and mapping and running it in a stringent process flow, that is a challenge. So there the beauty of the tool comes, and the tool adds value. So at the end, I'll suggest the two things are very important. One is your short-term planning, that is for this semester. Whatever help you are getting from your peer, wherever, from IT, whatever tool you are comfortable, maybe email, maybe WhatsApp, maybe your Zoom, maybe WebEx, maybe your Google Apps. So through that, please get connected with the students. All tools are able to reach. Yesterday we discussed about the connectivity problem and other problem also. But if these contents you are able to make it in a short time, it's good. If you are not able to make it short time, because in the next slide I'll tell you that what are the actually challenges and where you have to do a homework kind of thing before putting actually the content in the tool. Actually, it is not the lab kind of environment where you just drag drop and whatever content is there you just put it. So you have to give a lot of thought before actually putting the contents. So in JNU, we have set up a Moodle base. So Moodle is a modular object oriented dynamic learning environment. This environment seems to be a open source, but some of the services are subscription based, where some of the plugins you want to attach and you want to use over APIs or over plugin other from the other software, then you have to customize and you have to pay some subscription of that. But the basic platform is open source and it's freely available, and many of the objects or resources and activities are already contributed by the open source community and which are available. And the recent version, which is 3.8, which has just come in January, this is quite good, and we are on 3.7. And when we started in 2017 and 2016, we did this study, and it is Australia based company, Moodle Martin is the CEO of this company. And then we found that it was heavily used in Australia and India also. Many players were using, many library, hospitals, schools, universities, and many of the employment agencies are using for the interview and assessment. And we can also use it for the online interview kind of things, where we can make those assessment sheets can be shared with the experts, so experts can evaluate it and send comment back on the system. Because these kind of systems where history is maintained, where accountability is maintained, audit logs are there, and these are running in a controlled environment wherever you have hosted. If in the organization like us, if we have a challenge in the infrastructure, we can take our infrastructure cloud and there we can host it and let it be running on a resilient environment or on an infrastructure. IITs, TIS, IIMs, many organizations, they are using it. So again, my experience says that putting this tool actually from an enterprise perspective, defining all the roles properly and all the controls and making it available to the community with proper roles, responsibilities, IPR, security, and privacy. So three key stakeholders as per me are very important. One is that ICT administrator. ICT administrator will make available this infrastructure, make ensure the security is maintained, ensure that the right users, authorized users are accessing this, and a lot of other work from the IT administration side. The faculty right now during this lockdown period and before that, a lot of the mindset had changed. The faculty members who were teaching manually, who were it's a complete change for them. And right now, that's why I said short term, long term objective. If you cannot, because you have to complete your other activities, so creation of the content, if you are able to do it on testing environment, it's good. Otherwise, you can create your content before putting in the system and get some helping hand. They can upload your course, they can put it, and it's a continuous process. When you are explaining some concept, whether you will explain through video, whether you will explain through audio, you explain through picture, you explain through text, whether you put it in book format, you put it in page format. So or one good thing is that in the recent version of Moodle, you can integrate all these video conferencing tools. Even the Zoom is, if you have taken a proper Zoom for the organization, this can be integrated. And there are other a lot of open source, those can be integrated. Even the WebEx and all can be tried. One Zoom you have taken at an individual level, another Zoom, WebEx, and all these platform, Microsoft Meet and all, you can take it from an organization level also. Academic licenses, heavy discount is there. Your organization structure like lms.jnu, some something e-classroom or something will be jnu.ac will be created, structure will be defined, and you will be able to, as a chairperson, if further you are distributing those organization IDs, you will be able to see who has connected when, which course they have to, even you can see that which student has registered, what time, and duration. It gives very good analytics kind of things if organization. And then further it can be integrated with the learning management platform of the university of that organization. So faculty role, as I said, is very, very important, because it's very time consuming also, I'll say that, because they have to create the content, they have to understand, they have to decide that which activity resource they have to choose to disseminate this information and make that concept understandable to the student. From student side, I see less issue because they are already used to of this digital environment, but faculty side, it's a huge investment, and it's a continuous kind of process. And if these efforts, these contents can be created and put it in the platform, why I'm stressing this point again, because the finally value addition will be done by the faculty contents here. Then student, yes, the student can enroll, and JNU student, again based on the policy that can be done. Otherwise this product can be integrated with the payment gateway, self registration, and all those things are available in the Moodle. Subject matter experts are very important, because sometimes the audio, video, some lot of editing is required actually, and a lot of formatting is also required. Because when you put the simple contents and you give a graphic effect to the correct contents, and you give the modification formatting, it adds value to the content, and it creates interest of the learner also. The quality of online courses is also very important. This is also, the organization can form a committee and check this content, and put all these checks. This broadly I have defined, what exactly the faculty role should be there in the learning management kind of platform, which you are putting across organization level in a enterprise manner. So faculty can schedule, record, live streaming, create courses, create and populate the courses with the document, assessment, quiz. So all these features are available in Moodle platform. You can take a continuous backup of your contents also, of your courses, and you can monitor the progress of the students online. The student side, yes, these are self-explanatory roles. They can view it. IT department side, one is the user important, is user management is very important, and giving the correct role. And for that, we should have a policy that, if geography professor has created the contents, whether, others should be able to view, and all those kind of things, when you actually put it in the enterprise environment. Otherwise, testing, learning experience environment, there is no issue. Right now, all these flexibility is there. Configuration and data analysis is also very important. Customizing the themes and other feature as per the JNU requirement. Integration with content management server. Sometimes what happens, because your document, PDF and all, they are not in the proper format, their sizing and all those things. So you cannot upload, or you have a very poor internet connectivity. What you can do, you can bring all your content, and there is a content server which is just a storage kind of thing. So it can be put it there, and it can be integrated, so that uploading of the content part, you can save much time on that. Integration with your Radius, that is JNU Net ID or JNU user authentication. And then security, legal, and the compliance, the IPR assurance, perimeter security, and support and help desk and knowledge transition is also very important. Because in this slide, I have put it. One is that setup LMS platform. This is for the plan actually. Some of the things are already existing, but you put it in a structured, stringent, process-oriented enterprise platform, identified the solution to be adopted. Any organization like JNU has already, suppose, identified the Moodle, but in other organization, this you have to identify. That is based on your requirement, based on the, lot of other input parameters. Once this platform is identified, this has to be customized. A lot of customization is required, because it will become a brand of your organization. So from an organization perspective, you have to do that all customization. Then video conferencing and other e-content creation tool. As I was discussing, some of the tools are freely trial version and all available. My advice here is that whenever you use such tools, whenever you use some cloud kind of things, because all these tools are saving in their proprietary format. So whenever you are saving these tools, please put it in a journal format, so that later on this can be used. Otherwise, I have seen that in many of the tools, till trial version, it is okay. After the trial version, you are not able to reuse that data. And then you have to procure that product, or you have to take the license of that product. Solution can made live with introductory courses. This is the first point actually to use any LMS. Make your introductory course, one video, follow the 4-quadrant approach given in the MOOCs, given in all LMS best practices, and in the standard they have defined how you can use your LMS. Then the policy decision is very important. This identify the courses and the faculty member, define some high level guidelines how this can be used, which semester timelines, and what are the courses. Like science, a lot of labs are there, so in simulators are not there, because the simulators will take more time. Right now, if some simulators are available for the lab, that is also a kiddie kind of thing, and integration is also a problem, and many times we have seen it's not working properly also. This is also a challenge, and especially your higher education, PhD and all, only the coursework and all can be done, but other things is a challenge, because putting everything on the platform, because somewhere the cost is involved to put everything, whether it's active or it's a archive kind of thing. So to manage that infrastructure optimally, this policy is very important. Interested faculty members may submit their introductory course and get the feedback of that course, and then they start developing the content. URL is lms.jnu.ac.in. We had a challenge before lockdown. It was available only on JNU Intranet. Then finally, through our perimeter security, firewall and other things, it is now made available over the internet also. Right now, as a testing environment, again, security will be reviewed, and it will be based on the other inputs. This will be further fine-tuned. Now, training is very important, and training should be hands-on training. E-content creation, yes, you need the helping hand, because there are many people, they are used to of the technology, they will be able to do it, but there are many people, their contents are very good, their scripts are very good, and they have their own experience. For them, that helping hand, one of the thing is that creation of the content, you take the help, and before actually creating the content, you should be aware of that platform, that what are the features, what are the activity, what are the resources are available. Because many times, almost 20 to 30%, you have to get aligned with the IT, with the tool actually. So means your teaching learning process, what you are using at present, has to be aligned with the IT. The third thing, integration is very important. Any product which you are putting at present, decision you are taking in the organization, it should be integrated with your ERP, with your CMS, content management system, and library resources. The point why I'm stressing here is that because your employee management data, that EMD, or your student data, that is very important. So replicating that data in each and every platform and defining that workflow, which is not the correct approach. So somewhere you should have say LMS where all your faculty student data is there, and from there it should pick up. So it's not that it's getting created every time in the product. So hands-on training, when it is arranged for the faculty members, because it's generally, I have seen that 5 days, within 5 days, you will be able to cover this hands-on training on LMS. Features of LMS, navigating the course, customizing the profiles, notification setting, creating a course, adding resources, activity to the to the section, customizing the look and the layout of the course, adding assignment, quiz, survey, managing course participants, and setting up a grade book. And certification is also there now. Moodle has added badges also, where you can define the basic skill set, advanced, like this. Like many of these private companies, they run these online courses, and they issue these badges kind of thing, or certificate kind of thing. So saving backup of your course, because when you are doing it, permission is given to the faculty, they can save their backup, they can download it, they can keep it. But yes, it will be in a Moodle platform. It's not that you will be taking this backup and running on some other platform. That would not be possible. And yes, the training is a continuous process, and it requires a lot of efforts also. And now I'm starting a live demo of the product which we have deployed here. So I am opening LMS. So if you open this LMS, you will find this page, and some of the courses which are already available, like your bioorganic chemistry, this course. Earlier we have made these at least introductory courses can be seen from a marketing perspective without authentication, but now because of the security reason, because it's available on on internet, so we have restricted this access, and now authentication is required. So another course, Russian language, all these courses are already, even LMS, how to use Moodle, this course can be itself viewed by the participants or maybe teacher or students, that how you can create. And good part is that in LMS, lot of videos, lot of content is already available, and that can be used while you are creating the contents. Navigating the LMS, then your this is the course created by Professor Mila Punia, Introduction to Linguistic. All these courses are there, network courses. We have created e-office courses here also. I was just trying cybersecurity course. In courses, the category is very important. So this is just we thought it and we put it actually. But again, this can be changed actually, where you want to put as a general courses or related to school center wise. So all like communication network, the courses under physics. So this category can be created. Now I am logging directly to this. So here, one is that your radius authentication, another is that Google, where you have to request, and through your jnu.ac.in email ID, request will come to us and it will be activated, and then you will be able to access it. So this is the LMS platform. Here you can see the dashboard. Before that, I'll show you that home page. So this is the home page. So like the content I was talking, creating this picture, giving this, background, all is HTML tags are available. To that it can be done. And again, integration, like it can be, integrated to your website. So these kind of things can be done. I'm just closing it. So again, when you are clicking it, you can open it another window. You can open it in the same window. Coming to the dashboard. So in dashboard, now right now how many users are logging. So you can see, so it's showing here uh, how many users are logging, then the courses. This I have created like the event. So structure I'll explain you. One is a site structure is very important. So I'll click on site, then I explain you. Here, the upcoming events, you can go to calendar, you create, like I created yesterday this Moodle training event, and this will be viewed to all the users. These are the courses, and then completion of the courses. So this can be created in your dashboard. So this page can be customized, and this is your main LMS page of your university. And right now the customization is required. Customization can be done, otherwise I'm stopping it. So this page can be customized. Now coming to the calendar, here you can define your event, you can hide it, you can show it globally, you can, so global, then category, then course. So category, I have shown you that we have already created that journal, physics, computer networking. Then you can make it available to the group, or you can make it available to a user also, like to only your students. And then all these, even your calendar can be exported. Even you can manage all these subscriptions. So it has a lot of flexibility with the calendar, which can be integrated with your other calendar kind of scheduling kind of softwares. Private files are very important. Sometimes suppose you have given access to the evaluation, or you have given access to another your board members in the school, so some files can be kept here and the privacy can be maintained and roles can be defined. So here just you can choose that file, put that file here. This is very important. This structure is very important. As I was telling, say in general category you are seeing all these courses and all these, what in biochemistry, how that introduction is done, how that images and all. So this can be taken from the faculty. They can come to the course creator or the CIS where this can be copied to save the time. But before that, you should be thorough with the structure, that how that structure is defined. For linguistic, similarly for this. So everywhere it creates a folder and this data is stored on the content server. Recently, what are the files are imported. Even you want to upload a file, you can upload. Even you want to download a file, you can put a URL directly and you can download. Private files I have discussed, and this even links can be given. It can be added, because if you see down the page, that linking with the social media, Twitter, Facebook, everything is available. For this user, this is a one course which is available to this user. Yes, you can create a QR code also here. So this is the one course I have shown you. If I am taking back, this is the another course is available to this user right now. And this is the second course. So coming back to site administration. So site is very important. Like jnu.ac.in, you will have a site, and under this site, how to define these notification, registration, Moodle services, analytic. These all is one-time configuration is done by the IT. I was talking about the badges also. Location setting, languages, messaging, email security. If you have a mobile app, that those settings can be done here. Plus, you know, the Moodle has a lot of tutor accounts that can be integrated or can be stopped based on the requirement. Now, coming back to again site, this user management. So user management, as I said, that if you want to browse the list of the accounts which are there, so right now 692 accounts and still we are adding it. Suppose I want to check a account, and it will show you, you know, when it is created and the last time, say Ahmad, if I want to check it, whether it is existing or, yeah. So this is the ID. You can set your profile. We as a administrator can, you know, hide it, suspend it, and then these are the setting with respect to the user. You will get all these parameter in your profile. So where you can add these, you want to add description, you want to add other things. So this can be done, because what we have done, we have just integrated with our LMS system. So again, I was on site, and in site administration, user management, analytics, competency, we have discussed user management, permissions. So permission and roles. So user policy, site administrator, define the roles. What are the roles? So if you see in Moodle, these are the default roles are there as a manager. Good thing is that Moodle has given a lot of description, lot of help is there. Even you can read it and you can do it. So they say that who will be the manager of all these courses. Then course creator, like I have shown you that category and course, this right will be given to a one person who will create the courses. Like we do the registration of the courses in the system, and then people are able to view. Then teacher role, then non-editing teacher role is also important for the feedback. Then student role, then there is a guest account. As I said, that for marketing purpose, you just want that people should view this introductory course, not the full course. And authenticated users, and authenticated user on front page only. That is only the front page they will be able to see, not the other page. So allow role, you can assign this, a grid kind of thing is there, that can be done. And Again, allow role override. Sometimes you have to override the roles, that also can be done. Allow role switching, allow role to view. So we have given like the view role to all, this can be limited. So all these changes can be done based on the requirement. Courses, yes, this is, if I go to course, so when you create this course, creator will create, first he will create a category actually. So all these category can be created, it can be hide, it can be, you know, taken up, can be taken down, and this gear kind of thing is very important. So until unless you will not click this, you will not be able to edit. So you have to put it in edit mode, and then you can create, you can delete, assign role, permission. So all those things, filtering and all these resources are there. Suppose I have created this category, and now under this category, say communication and networking, we have the 3 courses. So I want to create a course now. Say I have e-office, I have cybersecurity, I have computer network. Now I'm creating a course, say artificial intelligence. So what is the short name you want to write? Which category you want? You want to make it visible, or you want to enable when this course should start or when this course should end, or you want to remove it? That can be, you can create some logical number also, that's also be given, like we have the registered courses in JNU, and uh, these are the registered courses in JNU. So like we can do that tagging kind of thing. So here it is, so you can give some summary type of thing. Even you can, this you can expand it, and you will see, suppose you want a header kind of thing, you can make it this header. Suppose you want to change other font, paragraph, all these settings are there. Then you can create a link also. Suppose you want to create a URL, you can create a URL, you can give a link of that document, you can again unlink that, you can add a picture. So you will be able to browse through URL, you can add a picture. Otherwise the simple way I'll do it, I'll drag any picture, say on my, if I drag this picture, I can just put this picture here. So this is a image actually. You can add and edit your inside your audio video file also. You can just click this, browse it, add the URL, like you have something on YouTube, or you have already stored on the server. Even you can record, like this feature is not available otherwise online recording, but this is a more vulnerable. When you enable this web RTC, that is real time communication services, it will automatically enable your mic, and it will audio, it will all enable your video also. So these kind of things should be avoided. But if we won't have any option, and these are the tested and a controlled environment, this can be done. And this is, you can manage a file, like I have shown you already, that you can put it on that content server, and from there it can be uh, added. It's just taking a time because some data is, I have shown you earlier the this structure. So it will show me all the contents on the content server. If I want to pick up that file from that server, I can pick up. This is the challenge. That's why this contents which we are putting, this has to be in a proper format and size. Right now in testing environment, we have put a content which size is used. So this will take a time, and it will. So right now I am just due to the time constraint, I'm canceling this option. Otherwise, you can do that. This is the option I was talking. Say you want to do a more beautification of the course. So through this can be done actually using your HTML tag. And then you can add some image like I have added. If you want to add the course image, it can be added here. You can define the course format. This is very important. So you want in a topic format, you want it in a weekly format, or you want it in your social format, or in single activity mode also. Now the number of section you want 4 to start with, later on it can be added also, and you can see that this can be. And hidden, I'm taking only 4. Hidden sections are shown in the like we can expand that, we can change it, like help is the given here, you know what is the meaning of this, then you can appearance. So I am right now putting whatever is the default. So number of announcement of this course, you want 5, you want more, you want to repeat it. File, the size of the file for this course which you are creating, uploaded, what is the limitation you want to set, you can do that. Your completion tracking, you want that course to be yes till completion. The groups, you want to run it in groups, those can be added. Even this is also, as I said, that Moodle has given these default names for manager course created. You even for your course you want to customize in your terminology, in your nomenclature, that can be done. Tagging is there. So if I save and return, this will save and this will return back. Now you see the artificial intelligence courses. Again, this gear is very important. You can click on that. When any time you have to edit this course, you have to go through this editing. So I am saving it and I am displaying this course also here. So now you see that announcement are there. So again, right now you see my courses, communication network, I'm creating an artificial intelligence course. So in artificial intelligence course, I want it topic wise, I want it week wise, that is up to me. I can choose, and below these are social media links that can also be made enable. Here you can go again the gear, you can edit the setting and turn the editing on. So once you turn the editing on, then you will be able to see all these resources. So say announcement, you want to add a resource here. Now you can add all these resources here. So assignment, chat, even choice type things are there. Database is anyhow, if you are taking from any other database, external tool you are using. Feedback, and this all is self-explanatory. You want to create a forum kind of thing, you want to create a glossary kind of things for the languages and all, this is available. You want to create a quiz, these are some of the resources you want to share it, so you can use this standard package. Survey, workshop, and suppose I want to create a book actually. So for artificial intelligence, I want that my content should be created in a book format. So if I type here AI book, again I can write something, say this is AI book. I can display it. Again, these are the common things. You can set appearance, you know, chapter formatting, you want it in number, you want it in bullet format, that is up to you. Again, style of navigating, you want it image type, you want it text type. If you want it text type, the text will come. Otherwise you can customize this also. You have seen in book, you know, big arrow, left arrow, right arrow kind of things that can be done. Common setting, show this. You want to restrict this course, even you can restrict also, because you don't want to show some of the users should able to use should not be able to see this course, that can be done. Activity completion, you want, you know, the expect completion on tracking.
students may manually mark, or all these settings can be done. Do not indicate activity completion. Student can manually mark this activity as completed. So when student will read it, tick box will come, and student will tick it that yes manually, or if they have read it actually, and you will get that information, yes they have read it. Competencies. So again I'm saving it. So this is the, so this I have taken a book. Now in book I can take, say, chapter 1. So chapter 1, I can type some content, say introduction, overview. Then I can type, say, logic kind of things. I can type, say. So like this, I can define this structure. I can set this in a bullet format. As I said, we can add, sorry, this file. So this is the, you want to tag it, you can tag it with, say, any course, or otherwise you can save the changes. So if you see, the chapter 1 is created. Now in chapter 1, you want to create, say, another content. Say I want to create 1.1, or this should be a sub chapter. So again, this can be saved here. So again, you can see that you want to create a, say, chapter 2. Again, chapter, under this it can be created. The chapter 2 should come under this, but this is a, right now I have created this, so that's why it has come under this. We can, again I'm canceling it. So this book has created here. Similarly, if I want to create another resource, I can create another resource. Say I want to create, say, a file, I can create folder. Say I want to create a page, then I can create a page. If I want to create a URL, if you want to create a label can be created. So say video. So if you want to create a video, you can create a video also. So if I click on this video file, so for video, what we can do, just a minute. So I'll create an embedded video here. So I'll show you how to create an embedded video. Suppose you go to any site, you type AI video. So if I take a, how to create an embedded video, because other URL and other videos are very simple, but embedded video, for creation of embedded video, you have to copy that address. So I'm stopping.
Get closer.
I'm stopping. So you can click on share. When you click on this share, you will get an embedded code. So what you can do, you copy this code, go back to your page, and then I have already clicked this. I have shown you that where you can write HTML tag. So this is, again, I enabled it. You can paste it here. So this is the video I have created, or I am taking right now from the Google, but you can create your own video and you can put it in the format you want it. What are the page content you want, how you want a appearance. So I am saving it, returning. Now you see this embedded video has come. So again, save and display. Oh, this is mandatory actually. You have to write some text here. That's why it is not saving. So now video has come actually, and like this you can create courses, and even the topic one you want to change it, you can click it here, edit the topic. Say you want this as a reference, so you can customize it actually. You can add a reference here, you can save it. So now topic, even this edit, sorry, I did it below, but this has to be reference. So this can be changed. So based on your requirement, you can add. So again, suppose you want to add another resource, you want to add assignment. So assignment, this all is self-explanatory. Based on your requirement, you can use it. So here I'm adding, say, assignment. Again, you can give, say, mid SAM assignment as this. You want to display it, you want that in a file format, you can add additional information. You can add your start submission date, due date, cutoff date. If you want to enable it, you want to enable some reminder, that also can be done. And you want that it should be in online text only, so you can give a limit of the word. Instead of that file, it should come online where student can type. Then feedback, comments, submission setting, required student to click on submission. Then when the student will submit it, yes will come. Required the student accept the submission, then yes. Attempt reopen, if you want to give, you can give it. Group submission, notification, like notify the student about the submission and all these notification, because email is already configured, so this will work. Grading methods, so you want like sample, series simple, you want rubric, you want, so all this can be pre defined, and based on your requirement this can be integrated. Common settings, restrictions, activity completion, tagging also can be done. Competencies, if you want to define this competency, this can be done. So right now I am putting this just blank, so your assignment can be created. Like you can create a quiz also. So all these resources are available. Now what I'll do quickly, I'll go to this again. This is the course Artificial Intelligence, which I was working on as a teacher. So there are a lot of other options: restore, backup, filter. You can do more. So I have come to the user mode now. that course administration. So course administration, say user, I want to do say enrollment of the user. So say I want to manually enroll which method I want to set for my students. So I'll take a say enrollment method manually. I would like to give access to the user, which user I can give access. So if I type Sanjeev, I'll give access to Sanjeev so that he can manually enroll for this course. Again, going back to the participants, artificial intelligence, then users. So enrolled users, sorry, we can see the participants here. So Sanjeev is already a participant of this course, which I have enrolled manually. I can disable it. Even this is a manual enrollment. The setting, as I have shown you, that all these settings can be done. Enrolled method, enrollment starts, and all these settings can be done actually. If I quickly show you that, say this is the course, and if I go again back more setting of the course. So one is that for the course administration to give these backup, restore, user setting, then the reports, the logs for this particular course, that what type of logs you want to see, that can be set actually. I'm going back. Again, the activity reports, the course participation, activity completion, and then this questionnaire actually. So question bank is there. You can create a question bank and you can integrate, where we have a quiz resource there, you can integrate this. Even if you have the template, you can import it. Even you can export the existing questionnaire also. Suppose question bank you want to create. So I'm taking this default. Okay, I think I have written AL. Okay, so now create question. So you see the type of question resources. You can create multiple choice question. You can create false.
We are running short of time now.
Okay. Yeah, so this is the mode actually, because so many resources are there. So now what I'm doing for the benefit of participants, I'm logging as a user mode. So you will be able to see the course which we have created here, artificial intelligence, right now. So if I click on this course, it will ask for the authentication. So I, as a Sanjeev, with my Radius user ID and password, can log in. This I have set it for, so need not to be typed this password username again, but otherwise this should be unchecked. So now this is the announcement. This is the book we have created. So like this, I was talking about arrow text. So we have created only one chapter. If you have created more chapter, you will be able to see. So this is right now, there is only one arrow. Next is our video. So embedded video has not come, I think. Okay. Next is the assignment. So I can click on submission. So like this, I can type on this assignment. These are the courses. Yeah. So these are the screens available to you as a student. And here for this course, what we have done, that can be seen. Similarly, I'll show you one course for the benefit of participant. This is the LMS course actually. So finding this is Sanjeev as a student, and this mode can also be changed from here. Right now the no access is given, but I'll show you in this screen. While you as a teacher developing the course, you can change the mode also. You can switch to mode. So it will ask you, would you like to see the same appearance in a manager mode, course creator mode, teacher mode? That can be done actually. So you can, or I'm switching back to the normal mode. So this can be taken. This can be chosen actually. So here these are the courses which are already created. As I was talking about the event, you can create an event in your profile. This is for your group, for your user. You can manage your calendar. Again, these are the courses which are created. It will show you the progress you want. These contents per page.
Saying your audio is audible. So can you increase your?
Yeah, so you can see these courses which are already created, and see for this LMS, I'm a student. I can go through these contents. This is the video I was talking, embedded video, how you can make a embedded video. Then your assignment. This is the thing I was talking, you know, when student can click manually, when they will attempt this assignment, they'll submit this assignment. They can submit in a file format, they can upload it, and so many file formats. Flexibility is there. It is up to you. You want it in doc format, you want it in PDF format. So many flexibility is there while you create the assignment or you create the quiz also. Again, I'm choosing this. You can go through back button also. You can navigate through this. And the good part of Moodle is there, a lot of help is there actually. Lot of help is there. So LMS, what is learning management dashboard? Again, video is there. This is freely available because this video, when we did this course, this was 2.3 mode, but you can see for 3.7 or 3.8 is the latest, because N-1 we have kept for the considering the security and stability issues. Courses, this is like, it is up to you, and whether you want to create a video, you want to create audio, you want to create text. Here in another format, I'll just quickly show you this, because for this user has a access of these courses. So if you see Professor Punia wanted a QR code, so QR code was explored, plugin was added, and QR code was created. Now to create these kind of contents, you have to do a little bit HTML programming actually. So you see that. Otherwise, you know, the way I was creating simple contents, you will be able to see that. So Moodle has a lot of flexibility. The only thing is that before starting the Moodle, if you can offline define that this concept I will make it through audio, this concept I'll make it through video, this concept I will show to my student as a text, as a book. So all those things can be worked out, and then it will become very easy for the teacher to make ready all these contents. Should I continue, or we can take questions if
We have to have the next lecture also.
okay? Yeah, because
We
Moodle
have a lot of
yeah.
questions from the users.
Yeah, that's it.
So there are questions. He will take these. We will moderate these.
Yeah.
So first question says, what is the cost of subscribing to the Moodle, you know, for the university?
So see, Moodle is freeware. As I said, that basic platform is there, which is already existing with us, and infrastructure is.
Please keep your mic close to you.
Yeah. So infrastructure is also the servers are there, but you know, to put all these 3,000 content and making it available to say 1,000 or 900 faculty member and 10,000 student, that can be you know, worked out, because here the infrastructure cost and plus, you know, the customization. So I'll tell you that for creation of the content, there would not be a problem, but the only problem is that when you would like to use a assessment, you want to create that report card, grade sheet, grade book, there you have to use a lot of integration and a lot of existing tools actually. So that cost will be worked out based on this. But I think for creation of the content, there would not be a much cost, and that can be done whatever is freely available actually. So
so next question we have, how is it, what are the difference and similarities between Moodle and Google Classroom plus Google Meet?
See, Google Meet is just, for the conferencing part that is integrated in your Google Classroom. Our professor Arnav has shown yesterday, but Google Classroom has a limitations. Like you have seen, the resources which are available in Moodles are much higher, specifically meant for this purpose. Google has also given a similar kind of environment which is well integrated on Google Cloud, running in a resilient environment kind of thing. But again, it's on Google, it's on public cloud. But if you want to put it Moodle in your institute or in your organization, this will run as a under controlled environment and fully in your control in terms of privacy, security, and IPR kind of things. Google, though we all are using it, but still we have one question in mind that my data is on internet, actually my everything is on internet. So tomorrow, what business model will come in Google, we are not sure that.
So next question is asked by Dr. Poonam Mehta. Says that I can log in with the JNU ID on lms.jnu.ac.in, but
Right.
it only shows 3 items on the left: home, dashboard, calendar. Do we need a separate account for this?
No, this is the same account, only the permission to creation I had to check it, because we have given to all the teachers to use it. But if she wants to create any course, because course creator, why we have not given, if we give the course creator role to the teacher, it will become a mess, because everyone will keep on putting the dashboard. Because earlier it was given, then we have restricted. So like SPS school, one category can be made, and then for the course she wants to teach, that can be just created, and then access can be given to her. She can create the contents, like add the resources and the activities.
Okay, so thank you. Next question is from Krishnendra Meenaji. He's saying, will there be a training program in near future on Moodle LMS? The speaker mentioned that it may take 5 days to learn.
So Professor Shandar Ahmed and Dr. Sonu they have already started this initiative, and it's going very well. I understand, because the Moodle, even we are the IT guy when we try it, because I'll tell you that why I have categorized the stakeholder, because faculty from a teaching learning process perspective knows that, how I'm delivering my course, what is the outcome, what is the prerequisite, how the student will understand, that part they know very well actually. And when IT guy will put it back there, so one is that you want to become that IT expert, but you can become a IT expert of a operation level of the Moodle. But other thing, and for that you have to invest a time, you have to do a hands-on training. So what Professor Meena is saying, that is right. Hands-on training, because right now in this environment cannot be made physically available, but yes, it is there. Moodle is available right now on internet. We have made it for your net ID with net ID authentication, and that can be accessed, and he can try. But we can work out that how this dedicated training, long training can be done. So I think Professor Ahmed can take this question.
I think what Dr. Sanjeevji is saying is right. So we'll try to take initiative. That and the teacher's perspective is also very important. Sanjeevji is an IT professional, so he gave it as he sees it as a technical person. And how teachers develop their content, what is the right kind of content, we have to rope in people who have a real experience of developing those contents. So together we'll plan something, we'll discuss this, and your suggestion is well taken.
So we have a lot of questions, like Professor Kutubuddin is asking that at the time of logging in LMS, do we have to create our own user ID and password?
No. See, only thing is that right now the student, through Google, they'll send a request then only, because right now if we enable all these users and suppose 1000 concurrent session, we will get it. We have an infrastructure challenges. Why we are little bit scaring about this? The reason is that it's a remote, as I mentioned, that we make it available on public platform over internet, and then giving support. But if we are locally available, yes, that can be done in one go, but right now it is just demand and supply basis. Suppose you, Dr. Sonu, you know very well that in the past also we did this exercise on the intranet. But
Yes.
suppose faculty wants to create the course, please send us an email. Let's we run in a controlled manner rather than opening to everyone and hardly 10 people are logging daily.
Right. Dr. Meena has some more questions, so we are just unmuting him. Sir, Dr. Meena, you have now mic.
Yes. I think most of my queries have been answered, but the only issue still remains that I tried logging in while during the presentation itself, and it does not log in with the JNU password which we have, like the JNU login.
Net ID you are using, Professor Meena?
I'm using JNU residence thing.
No, I'll just check it, because I have shown you the user right now, which are we have created, and I'll just check it. You just drop me the email that which ID you are logging actually. So
Okay.
I'll just see that, and that access can be enabled, and it would be very helpful if you mention that the course also, that which you want to create it. So you can try it actually. Because right now it is in testing environment only, and we all are learning and we get the experience, and then we'll see that how we can clean it and put it back.
Get it, Sanjeevji. Thank you.
Next question is from Sandesha ji. Sandesha ji, over to you. The question, please.
Hi, thank you, Sanjeev sir, for the presentation. The thing is that similar to what Krishnendu Meena sir was saying, initially when it asks us to log in, we have the option to go in with the Google account. So
you can do that also, but for that we have to register you for the course actually.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you, we got some problem in a radius integration. Then we thought that when I am showing something to our faculty member, let authentication should work. Then we make it Google enabled also, that jnu.ac.in.
Yes, sir.
So there you register it, you will get an email, and then you automatically get enrolled actually.
So
Self-registration.
So, sir, what I was trying to tell you is that I did that. I got the email in my Gmail account, the jnu.ac.in account. I clicked to the link. When I came to the page, the home page is no longer similar to the one that you are showing. That is exactly what.
No, that will not be there, Sandesha ji, because I was showing you, we have created there is a super administrator and then below administrator. So I am one of the tech team member. So the profile would not be the same, because the super admin will have more role. That's why I was talking. If we make available to all, it will become a problem for us, because many people are developing the content. They just want to share with their researcher and student only, not to the peers also. So that restriction we have done. So you will be able to see your course. That's why I said the course creator will be some anonymous person, so that anonymously he'll create, no biasing, nothing, and then all the faculty member, the course for which they are the teachers, they will be able to see that course and will be able to work on that course only. So and because there are some options, like I was showing for a IT, so that site creation is a IT guy, so that option also you will not see. What you will see, you can able to create content, you will able to see all the resources, plus you can take a backup of your course, because it is there on the server, but tomorrow you should have also a copy of that backup.
Okay, all right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sandesha. Now you know that everybody is worrying about the security and all. So we have another question from Dr. Suryanandani Narayan, who is asking, like, is model more secure than Google Meet or Classroom?
See, yesterday also a lot of debate was happening over security. I'll tell you, in this world, nothing no one can give you a guarantee. As long as you are not attacked and hacked, you are secure. Many companies, like the RSA, even their algorithm got hacked. So security is that what we will do, we will give the reasonable controls. We put reasonable security controls. We give the assurance to the user. Like if I take a bank example, earlier we were doing banking transaction with username and password. Then they have enabled OTP. Now OTP is coming to your registered mobile. So liability is again to you if you are not handling your mobile, proactively or not paying attention on that. So bank is giving you reasonable assurance, and security works in defense in layers actually. So like physical security, main gate and then gate. Like if you feel that we have to integrate with the second level authentication right now, username, password, some other authentication, biometric and all are in place, but When you run it in a controlled environment like your website, like your e-office, then you have full control on your environment, and you are available on internet through your perimeter security. So if that security is maintained, and vulnerabilities are not there, if there are, suppose Moodle has some vulnerability and we are not fixing it, and that vulnerability is visible to the outside people, yes, that can be happen. But from a security control perspective, we put all these controls in place, and as long as those controls are in place, it cannot. But still, if it hacks, you should have a recovery plan. Actually, you should have a backup and all, because no one in the security companies, even in big companies, they are saying that you are secure. They said under these parameters, circumstances, this is secure, and then still it is happening. You have to buy the insurance. Actually.
Yeah, correct. And now Dr. Yeshi is asking like how to apply for access to JNU Moodle.
Yeah, Professor Yeshi, she has started earlier also. She did, and her subject is, has some challenges. But I suggest her, because she tried in, I think, 2.8 or 3.2 version. But in the new version, a lot of features are there. So similarly, she can send a request. I'll see her ID is there. If it is there, then she can send the request course, and mapping can be done and give replied back over email, and she can start working on the course.
Okay. And there is also one question from Professor Satyabrata Patnaik, saying, is live screening currently available in JNU Moodle?
Sir, live screening, I tried it. I'll just, it will take time actually. If I go live screening, you can, okay, I have not shared my screen. So just a minute. Yeah, live screening is possible. I'll tell you, plugins are there. One is Big Blue Button actually, but that application is vulnerable. So that is like Zoom can be integrated. Zoom can be integrated if you have a organization licensed account, and that account can be. So it individual account cannot be, because I'll tell you that how these companies authenticate, like Google. When we send a request, they have taken from an organization profile we have to create, and they verify yes on Google JNU exists, and they activate it. Similarly, WebEx has done the same thing. We have already integrated our WebEx also, but integrating in the Moodle plugin have to be there, and that is with the license version only. If you won't have a license version, it will not work, or if it will work in trial mode only. So Zoom, we tried it, but Zoom is not getting fixed. But I heard from 2-3 people that Zoom is working, and it has to configure, but you should have that license account. So if we take the licenses, and licenses already file is we have submitted, and academic licenses are quite cheap. And for 1 year, if we take it, now the Zoom is also coming with a lot of advisories, and this is one of the light and well integrated product, and it can be integrated. Provision is there. The only thing is that you need a licensed account for creation of for integrating Zoom with your Moodle. So Moodle and Zoom, then wherever teacher is planning, like yesterday it was shown in the Google Classroom, that you can schedule your video conferencing with the student, or e-classroom kind of thing. That can be done using Moodle.
So you just the related question. So are you already integrated with, say, Google Meet and YouTube? Those kind of streamings can be done, right?
Yeah, sir. Google has played a one important business model recently. It is integrated with Google, but Google, if you see, it is available only till 25th of September. Google Meet. After that, it will withdraw. So I think Dr. Nikunj Makrana requested 2 days back, and we saw that it was not there, and that tick was done by the administrator, and it is enabled.
But YouTube streaming can definitely be integrated, right? You can just use a URL and link it.
Yeah, that is there, sir. That is already there. But this Meet, they are charging actually. I don't know what model they'll come. They say that during the COVID period, it is given freely to all these, because many companies are, under their CSR or under this, help to the crisis situation, they are giving free. But after that, what model will come? My worry is only that whatever we choose, because we know this should be a one shop, and it should be, run it. Later on, it should not be that you are just putting the content, and then, you yourself are not able to use your contents.
So I believe there are multiple options. Like YouTube is also one option that you can do, and
Yeah.
it's, Meet, Hangout, and any meeting. So it all depends on what is the integration available in your implementation of Moodle.
Hangouts is free, sir. Hangout is working fine. Hangout is already there.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sanjeev ji. Like a lot of compliments to you for this wonderful session, and thank you very much from our side also for this nice and informative session. Now we may request Professor Bijay Kanwar to present.
So just I would like to interrupt a little bit. So
Yeah.
our registrar